Now that you have the outline for the body of your essay, we're going to take a look at outlining the introduction and the conclusion. Outlining these is much easier after you've got your proofs done. So for your introduction, you will need a hook, a linking sentence, a thesis statement, your divisional sentences, which are your main points, and a concluding sentence. So going back to the example of Lady Macbeth, my hook will be talking about William Shakespeare and realistic relationships. So again, it is point form. You do not have to put complete sentences in here. My linking sentence, dysfunctional relationship. I'll talk about the dysfunctional relationship between Macbeth and his wife. I'll add the author and the title of the play. My thesis statement is that Lady Macbeth is the cause of Macbeth's murderous rampage. My divisional statements, my main points, will be the use of power as his wife to make his more ambitious. And when that doesn't work, she starts to ridicule his manhood and compares his weakness to a child. Notice that it does not have to be grammatically correct. It's okay to make spelling and grammar errors in your outline. You will correct that in the draft and in the editing stages. And my concluding sentence, if not for her, Macbeth would not have killed so much. So when I put my outline together, William Shakespeare was a great playwright whose works have inspired generations for over 500 years through his use of intricate plot designs that realistically portray human relationships. In Macbeth, Shakespeare develops a dysfunctional relationship between Macbeth and his wife, Lady Macbeth. Essentially, Lady Macbeth is the cause of Macbeth's murderous rampage. She first uses her power as his wife to try to entice Macbeth to be more ambitious. When this fails, she begins to ridicule Macbeth's manhood. She also compares his weakness to a child, making him feel powerless. Without this manipulation, Macbeth would never have begun his famous frenzy of bloodshed. Okay, so I take my outline and the points that I want to discuss in my outline, and I create complete sentences. Pro tip, many writers write their introduction after they've written the rest of their essay. For the conclusion, you'll need to recap the main points of the essay and restate the thesis, but you do this using different words. The conclusion often mirrors the introduction, but again, uses different words. That's very important. You can't just take your introduction and stick it in your conclusion. You should use a transitional word to start your conclusion. So recap thesis, summary of arguments, concluding sentence. Recap thesis, Lady Macbeth manipulates Macbeth to murder. Summary of main point 1, she ridicules her husband to make him more ambitious. Summary main point 2, belittles his manhood. Concluding sentence, if not for her, Macbeth's life would have been long and probably quiet. When I put this together into a complete paragraph using actual sentences, it sounds like this. The relationship between Macbeth and Lady Macbeth is a very dysfunctional one that leads Macbeth to his ultimate doom. Through her power as Macbeth's wife, Lady Macbeth manipulates Macbeth into killing Duncan, which begins Macbeth's murderous ambitions. She also manipulates Macbeth through ridicule, often belittling his manhood. Without the influence of his wife, Macbeth would likely have led a quiet and dignified life. Don't forget that ultimately this has to still be a paragraph. A paragraph cannot be 1 or 2 sentences. It needs to be a well-developed paragraph that includes all of these components. So take a few moments, work on your outlining your introduction and outlining your conclusion. Our next step will be formulating a draft.